Hello, I'm Neely Jones, your host of Focus on Suppliers. We're here today with tips on working with Sam's Club and ways you can improve sustainability within your supply chain. Our friends from CaseStack stop by and weigh in on the benefits of consolidation. Menasha explains sustainable packaging, and Walmart lays out next steps for its suppliers. Whether you work with Sam's, Walmart, or another retailer, the effectiveness of your supply chain directly impacts your bottom line. Focus on Suppliers starts now.
Focus on Suppliers is presented by 8th & Walton, the premier destination for supplier development, and sponsored in part by Dun & Bradstreet, Saatchi & Saatchi X, CaseStack, Excel Displays and Packaging, and other outstanding companies.
Your millennial fun fact is that just 25% of millennials are shopping in club stores, compared to 70% who are shopping in other specialty stores like grocery and other retailers. We know that millennials are all about experiences, so likely the reason that they haven't connected yet in a club store environment is they're not feeling that connection to the experience. What we know about millennials is that they want to go to a place that allows them to experience more than just shopping. So what we need to do in the club channel is really think about how we can motivate them. Talk about the experiences that the club channel brings, whether that's sampling or also allowing them to engage with the products in a little bit of a different way. We also know that millennials are all about saving money so they can splurge on other things later. So show them how much they can save by shopping in that club environment, which will pay off on a splurge for them later. What we need to remember is that millennials want to be connected with emotionally, and that's how we're going to connect them back to the retail environment. We'll see you for the next Millennial Minute.
As we talk about Sam's Club, we thought it only fitting to bring an expert in that has more than 28 years experience with Sam's Club. That brings me to Joel Graham. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Let's talk about some things specifically when it comes to the concept and the warehouse club and the business model. Why is that so efficient?
Well, it's an interesting concept. The warehouse club model operates, in my mind, on two principles. The financials, your markup on the product should pay for your operating expenses. The other half of that would be the physical aspect, where the operating expenses need to be kept controlled. So typically you will find in most warehouse club concepts, no fixtures, no ceiling tiles, no floor tiles. When the product's unloaded from the truck, it's brought straight to the floor on a pallet, so there's no handling, no peg hooks, no shelves, things of that nature. So your operational expenses are naturally low. So the two things fit together to make that business model.
So it's more efficient all the way around?
All the way around.
Okay. So what is the cross-dock logistic method?
Well, I love that term because it means exactly what it says. Literally cross the dock. So as a supplier would ship a truck into the facility, the DC, it literally is unloaded from that truck, crosses the dock with a pallet and a forklift, and literally loaded to the outbound truck going to the store or the facility.
What's something that suppliers need to keep in mind or they need to know when it comes to that cross-dock?
So in the cross-dock model, one of the things that would be kept in mind is use the proper pallet, use the proper pallet standards that's posted online in Retail Inc. Make sure your product is handled easily, unloaded from that truck, securely wrapped, banded, strapped, whatever that might be, so that it has minimal damage as it moves through the supply chain.
We talk about e-commerce and what a powerful tool it is today for suppliers. What's one way that they can leverage that online presence to ensure basically greater product visibility in these types of stores?
You know, the thing I would tell a supplier is make sure that you work with your merchant to get all of your products online that you carry in the building. Even if you don't intend to sell your products online, make sure that those products can be searchable online for access to the store.
Easily searchable.
Easily searchable. Good images, high quality content, good descriptors, those things.
Because if you don't do those things, it can kind of backfire and hurt you, I would think.
Well, correct. I mean, if you don't have an image, someone searches for it, there's no image, they really move on. So it's really critical if you do post online and put your products out there that you have quality content and quality images.
What's one piece of advice that you would give to suppliers who are watching this show when it comes to Sam's Club?
Well, I would say keep it simple. The Sam's Club business model by nature is simple. So instead of 10,000 units or 100,000 units in a retailer, the Sam's Club business model would operate with maybe 5,000 stock keeping units. So if you're selling to Sam's Club, keep that in mind, particularly when you present to the buyer in a sales pitch.
Thank you so much. Good to have you here today.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Be sure to like 8th and Walton on Facebook.
CaseStack, the leader in collaborative retail consolidation programs. We offer the supply chain expertise needed to navigate the challenges of selling products with the world's largest retailers. And we provide customers with a customizable, scalable, environmentally sustainable supply chain with the same advanced technology typically used by larger rivals. By leveling the playing field, CaseStack lowers distribution costs and increases overall margins. CaseStack, retail logistics is what we do. Bentonville Plaza, across the street from the Walmart home office. The best office location offers proximity and services like no other business complex in the area. Call 479-200-1112 today.
When we talk about Sam's Club and sustainability, only fair to bring in an expert. With us today, Carrie Bailey from Menasha. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Let's look at the overall experience of member value and presentation, the importance here.
Well, member value is really portrayed in the experience and the offering at the club. And when the team looks at the presentation, packaging and merchandising come into the key focus. And today, as they're really focused on sustainability, the execution of those items, the packaging piece and the supply chain piece, are critical in the supplier scorecard. So they're really focused on the conversions that can occur to add value to that process.
So one of the things we could examine would be lightweighting.
Lightweighting is when we take a look at the actual corrugate packaging, weights and papers, and make a decision based upon the goods that they're going to be transporting in as to what the value and the presentation needs to be, the strength of that corrugate at retail to present the product in the proper way.
What about when we look at end-to-end?
Well, end-to-end is really a complete supply chain evaluation. When we look at manufacturing, packaging, and supply chain articles and vehicles for suppliers, the energy that it takes to produce or manufacture is all part of that end-to-end sustainability scorecard. Mm-hmm. And as we look at those kinds of impacts, things like top sheeting come into play, where our preprint material and quality today is nearly lithographic quality. So photography type quality is critical in presentation of merchandise. In our top sheet strategy, that becomes the advantage because we're literally eliminating one layer of paper in that process. And we're providing such clarity in printing today that it is virtually unnoticeable.
You said we needed to look at 3 things. We touched on 2. What's another important thing for our suppliers to keep in mind?
Alternate materials. I'll give you an example. Today, you look at a lot of carded items that are presented in bundle packs and placed on cards. We're seeing a conversion into SBS folding carton, almost a revisiting of earlier time and place.
Right.
We used to carton a lot of merchandise. Today we're actually revisiting that because SBS and the folding carton community actually provides recyclable content to produce from, and then it's recyclable on the end stream as well. But graphic presentation in folding carton is very high quality, and in the conversion process we're saving energy and labor and process time.
So really all of these things work together.
It's a great opportunity for them to take advantage of the multiple streams of production to improve their sustainability scorecard while amplifying and delivering a better presentation at market.
And folks are ready to make this change. If a supplier's watching, not sure what to do, what's the next step?
Give us a call. Technology has really improved the presentation visually in printing, and we're really at the cusp of the leadership of that space. So we're very, very acquainted with it and very excited to deliver it to the marketplace.
And you were just saying, you know, when you walk into a Sam's Club, whether you're a consumer or whether you're a supplier, you notice the difference in graphics.
Absolutely.
It's huge.
Again, back to member value. Members come in, they want an experience, and they want to be impressed by the atmosphere. We're no longer at the club level, a brown box presentation. So you look at the things that are now being delivered at club around fresh and around carry and go. Okay, those kinds of things are really taking it to the next level at the club experience.
So it's time to keep these 3 tools in mind. Carrie,
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. When we talk about sustainability and consolidation, it's important to meet with the experts. We have one here for you today, Coby Beale. Thank you for being here once again from CaseStack.
Great to be here.
What are some aspects that suppliers can really look at and tune into when it comes to consolidation and sustainability?
Consolidation is actually a supplier that is currently shipping LTL shipments into Sam's Club or into Walmart or any retailer for that matter. If they're shipping less than truckload, it's a very inefficient and a very costly way to deliver your goods. But based upon the order patterns, that's the requirement. So what consolidation does is it allows multiple suppliers to ship full truckload into a retail distribution center. If you think about it, our warehouse is a mixing center of small to mid-sized consumer packaged goods companies that would be shipping LTL-sized shipments. They ship a product into our facility, and when we ship out to the Walmart or Sam's Club DC, we're shipping in a full truckload quantity, and that supplier is only paying for the portion of the truck that they use. So from a service level, they're getting full truckload service levels into the DC, which means their product is being handled less damages, less shortages, but their cost structure, most importantly, is being driven down. And it's very important that as Walmart continues to push to this one-day window from an MABD perspective, that suppliers have a solution in place that doesn't drive their costs up. Because to hit a one-day window in an LTL environment, they're going to have to pay for a guaranteed service.
Yeah. So from the packaging aspect, you really have to think about consolidating your info.
It's the same principle, right? So if you've got product with a bunch of air, and the bag takes up for marketing material on the shelf to give you that visual, that's valuable space on the shelf to the retailer, that's valuable real estate, but more importantly, that's real estate being taken up in the truck. So you can't put as much product on the truck, which the number of cases per truck that's shipped on the inbound, the more product that you can put on the truck, the lower your costs come down. So, and it also will reduce over the time, it will reduce the number of trucks on the road because you have less space that you're having to ship. So it's packaging, whether it be weight or space, reducing the packaging requirements is a sustainable initiative.
So these are all efficiencies that suppliers can put into place. They constantly need to be in review of them. You can help them do that, and it's things they should probably be looking at right now.
Absolutely.
All right, Coby, thank you so much for being here.
Great opportunity, appreciate it.
We'll be right back. In this week's Heart of Business, we're going to talk to you about the JDRF Northwest Arkansas chapter, a wonderful group. So please help me welcome today Josh Yates, who is here. You are the board president.
Yeah.
We also have Andy Philly, who is the director. You keep everything running.
I try.
Well, it's so good to see you both. We only have a few minutes, so I want to jump right in and especially touch on type 1, Josh, which you were living with.
Yeah, I've been a type 1 diabetic for 25 years. And you know, it's a disease that not a lot of people understand. Everyone understands diabetes. Diabetes is in epic proportions, but type 1 is a very specific portion of that. Only about 5% of total diabetics are type 1. And what that basically means is you produce no insulin. Diabetics all struggle with insulin production and being able to keep up with it, but a type 1 diabetic is replacing 100% of their insulin needs. Wow. It's a 24/7 disease. It affects mainly young children at onset, but most of us are adults who are still walking around with it. And it's a disease that takes a lot of effort to manage on both the family's part and the patient's part.
And it can be very expensive to manage, which is where your organization comes in because you help people with that.
We do. We have a family retreat that we have out every year at Camp War Eagle, which is a weekend, Friday through Sunday, where the entire family can come out. We do different educational segments for the parents parents, while we do fun things, regular camp activities for the kids, where we also give out tons of diabetes resources, including this past year we gave out over $300,000 worth of insulin.
That's so wonderful. You hate to see people affected by it, but you also love to see an organization that can help them. One of the main messages you wanted to get out today were signs and symptoms, because you said earlier that it's caught the better.
Yes, so we want to make sure that the public knows what to look for in their loved ones, because this disease is a lot of times misdiagnosed for common illnesses. And like Josh said, the sooner diagnosed, the better. So frequent urination, extreme thirst, extreme weight loss, increased appetite. Those are some of the main ones to really, if you see those in your child or your loved one, make sure they get to the doctor.
Don't ignore it. It's an okay thing to ask for this type of test,
yes,
right?
It is.
Okay, there's a lot of ways that we can help support you. Have several different events. How can folks get involved?
We do. So our three main events that we have going on in Northwest Arkansas are our JDRF One Walk, which we have every fall. We also have a ride program, which is kind of a continual program. We have 7 different rides around the country that folks can participate in. And we also have our gala, which you are familiar with, which is Kentucky Derby themed. We call it Run for the Roses, and we have it the first Saturday of May every year.
Yeah, and outside of those three, I tell you, we'll always take your donations. The JDRF, we've donated over $2 billion into research for type 1, and I'll tell you, living with this disease for 25 years, the advancements we've made in those 25 years have been impressive, and a lot of that's been due to the JDRF funded research.
Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. I always want to say it because I rattle off JDRF so fast. Thank you both for being here and for what you do.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be right back. Follow 8th and Walton on Twitter.
Mark your calendars. Saturday, December 3rd is the 23rd Annual Charity Ball for Mercy Health Foundation, Northwest Arkansas. Save your seat at mercy.net/NWA-charity-ball or call 479-338-2990.
Armatron impressed me when I bought a watch in 2005 before my second deployment to Iraq. And on that deployment, I was hit by a roadside bomb, and I was wearing that Armatron watch. It's almost as if that watch was a part of me. It went through the explosion. It sat in a drawer, lonely. It was like my depression. And to pull it out, clean it off, put it on, and it still worked, it's my story.
Bentonville Commerce, less than 1 mile from the Walmart home office. You'll love the convenience, amenities, and customized options Bentonville Commerce offers. For more information or a tour, call 479-200-1112 today.
You just had your buyer meeting. Now there's follow-up to do. Maybe your buyer wants more on seasonal sales, or invited you to prepare a joint business plan or set up a date for your line review. 8th and Walton can help. Our experts work with you one-on-one in a confidential setting to prepare for your next buyer meeting. The classes we offer help you too. Retail Link, Supply Chain Management, Inventory Management, taught in cities across the country, in Canada, and in Latin America. So before your next buyer meeting, contact 8th and Walton. Then relax, knowing that you will be ready.
We're here in the Innovation District, which is not just in Fayetteville, it's really throughout the state, throughout Northwest Arkansas. This is where the startup movement lives. We're in Center Space, which is my home base and also the headquarters of Startup Junkie Consulting. Today we've got 2 of the rock stars that keep this movement going. We've got Jessica Boyd, who's the Executive Director of the Community Venture Foundation, and we've got Michael Eisman, who is Startup Junkie's Entrepreneur in Residence. How's it going, guys?
Great. How are you?
I'm good.
It's going great. Thanks, Jeff.
So what's the point of Center Space? Why does this exist? What do we do here?
So Center Space is a space for innovation and entrepreneurial activity. It's a space for co-working. Anyone can come and work here. We've got a lot of open first come, first served desks. And then it's also where Startup Junkie is headquartered. We do a lot of one-on-one meetings and consulting here. And it's just a cool space. We got a ping pong table. We got our own gym or pull-up bar. And it's just a fun space to hang out. So a lot of great energy going on here in Center Space.
And a bunch of companies of varying sizes co-work in here with us as well, right?
Absolutely. We had Conquesos when they were starting up. They did all their interviews in here, and he was using this as co-working space. We've had the New Design Schools using this as a headquarters. Our podcast, the Startup Junkies podcast, is taped here. There's a lot of good activity going on in Center Space.
Really is kind of the focal point in the prior center. So Jessica, part of this whole movement has to start with K-12, with those aspiring entrepreneurs and innovators. Tell us what the Community Venture Foundation does. does.
Yeah, so we are focused on building the entrepreneurial community in Northwest Arkansas. And like you said, part of this entails youth entrepreneurship education programs. So we actually run E-Teen Ventures, which is a week-long summer program for high school students to learn how to start and run a business. And then also the Arkansas Girls Code program, which is an initiative to get more women, young women engaged in STEM by giving them an introduction to coding.
Got it. And so why is it important that kids start early on? And if you're thinking about it from the standpoint of a large employer, a Walmart or any of the consumer packaged goods companies, why should they be interested in their kids participating in these types of things?
Youth entrepreneurship is a really great way to increase your academic performance because it has a lot of project-based learning involved in that. And so it gets your mind thinking in a different way, makes you a little bit more creative, think outside the box, enhances those critical thinking skills. And then also with the coding program, that STEM knowledge is really important early on. And getting girls interested in that in the middle school range especially is really important for their future if they want to pursue a future in STEM.
And it really doesn't matter if they're going to be entrepreneurs or small business owners. Those kinds of skills are going to be critical even for large employers, right?
Absolutely. Things like basic budgeting or even up to accounting and then also public speaking. Those are just a few of the skills you can learn through these programs.
So just to kind of wrap this up a little bit, we're here in a place that has been burdened historically with low expectations around innovation and entrepreneurship. But the startup and the venture movement is alive in Arkansas and Northwest Arkansas. We're working every day on talent, capital, entrepreneurial culture, and in community engagement. This is relevant to supplier community and retailers because this is where the competitive advantage of the future will come from. This is Jeff Amrine. The show will be right back.
Continuing our conversation on sustainability, we're coming off a very important summit that we want to really dive into, which brings me to Ron Sasine. He is joining us from Hudson and Windsor. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
We really want to look at what was talked about in the Sustainability and Packaging Summit with Walmart.
You know, it's really important what Walmart is doing. They've really led the way in packaging sustainability at retail. It's now an opportunity for them to reassert some of that leadership and take us back to that role that they had earlier. There's so much that goes on. If you consider the amount of materials and time and effort that's used in packaging for retail, it's really a critical part of the supply chain.
There's a lot of things that suppliers need to keep in mind and things they need to know about changes they can make that are probably more simple than they think.
You bet. I ask every supplier I work with to document where they are. They need to take a look at all the SKUs that they sell and the packaging components that are used with those SKUs. Once they've documented their starting point, they then need to report that back out to their buyers so their buyer understands that they've got a handle on where they are. At that point, it's time to develop a plan. That plan can look at things like how many square feet am I using of materials? How many grams of plastic do I have in this pouch or this bottle? And once that plan can be pulled together, then they work with their own supply chains and their folks in their manufacturing operations to execute that plan.
Well, and some of the things we can talk about is even making things, automatic machinery, things that can happen when it comes to packaging that can make things easier for suppliers.
You bet. There's so many things that have been developed over time to be manual or to be very robust and strong. And in fact, with our automation that's come in line, we can use so many of those now as lighter weight materials. And that ability to lightweight and reduce the overall amount of resin, of paper fiber, of metal that's being used in packaging. All of those things are coming to us now because we have better transportation systems, better automation in plants, and better use in distribution. Those things can all be worked on by suppliers.
And is it fair to say that the suppliers need to be aware that buyers expect them to know what they can do, what the laws are, what the regulations are, what the expectations are?
That's right. You know, every buyer at Walmart or Sam's Club is looking for help in getting themselves and their categories farther down this sustainability path. If you come in as a supplier and you have your ducks in a row and your information where it needs to be, you're going to be in a much better position to work with your buyer moving forward.
It's only going to help that relationship. And the truth of the matter is, if we're being more sustainable, not only are you helping Mother Earth, but you're helping your bottom line.
That's right. You know, I started my career in a paper mill that did 250 tons per day of recycled paper. It's fascinating to see how we've gone from those mills years ago to much bigger and better operations in recycling.
Ron, thank you so much for being here.
It's great to be here. Thanks so much.
We'll be right back. Visit us at 8thandwalton.com to learn how you can become a better partner with Walmart.
Bentonville Plaza, across the street from the Walmart home office. The best office location offers proximity and services like no other business complex in the area. Call 479-200-1112 today. CaseStack, the leader in collaborative retail consolidation programs. We offer the supply chain expertise needed to navigate the challenges of selling products with the world's largest retailers. And we provide customers with a customizable, scalable, environmentally sustainable supply chain with the same advanced technology typically used by larger rivals. By leveling the playing field, CaseStack lowers distribution costs and increases overall margins. CaseStack, retail logistics is what we do.
You just had your buyer meeting. Now there's follow-up to do. Maybe your buyer wants more on seasonal sales, or invited you to prepare a joint business plan or set up a date for your line review. 8th & Walton can help. Our experts work with you one-on-one in a confidential setting to prepare for your next buyer meeting. The classes we offer help you too. Retail Link, Supply Chain Management, Inventory Management, taught in cities across the country, in Canada, and in Latin America. So before your next buyer meeting, contact 8th & Walton. Then relax, knowing that you will be ready.
As we continue our conversation centered around sustainability, we brought in some friends from Walmart today to really help us get into those key areas that we all need to know about. So please join me in welcoming Laura Phillips and Ashley C. Hall today. Good to see you both.
Thanks for having us.
I really want to talk about packaging and why packaging is such an important issue for Walmart as well as suppliers.
Great. So when we look at our business and all of the product that we sell in our stores, our clubs, online, they all have something in common. They have a box. They either were shipped in a box or we display them on the shelf in a box. And when you look at that shelf, the box, it plays a really important role. It protects the product, helps us to market and sell the product. It also adds some cost. And so what we've seen is that we can really do a better job in terms of reducing packaging material, optimizing packaging material, using sustainable packaging material to reduce the cost. It's good for our business. Reducing cube out of the supply chain helps us save in logistics and shipping. It's also good for the environment. So it's good for their business, it's good for the environment, reducing waste, and customers tell us this is important. In fact, over 90% of our customers have told us recently that they want to see us improve the recyclability of packaging, and they want to see us decrease packaging where it's not needed. So it's really the triple bottom line. It's good for the business, it's good for the environment, and it's good for our customers.
Now, Ashley, I understand you just organized a sustainability summit and have some takeaways that all of our viewers can benefit from.
We did just have a sustainability summit, and we had different associates across the company actually help pull this event together through our Sustainable Packaging SVN. The summit had hundreds of suppliers and associates and packaging professionals learn about what good sustainable packaging looks like for Walmart. That's where we announced our new position statement and supplier guidance playbook, focusing on our 3 priority areas, which include designing to optimize, sourcing sustainably, and supporting recycling.
I also want to let them know where they can go and maybe watch this to get more information. Or is there a place online where it's housed?
Absolutely. We want our suppliers to really use this playbook and the position statement. So you can go on both Retail Link and on our Walmart Sustainability Hub, which is on walmartsustainabilityhub.com. Pretty easy. And we'll also have the video on YouTube as well as the hub.
Fantastic. Now, I'm sure there are things, Laura, that you would like to see suppliers do, proactive actions they can take. What would you like to see?
Well, the first thing we'd like to see is just reigniting the passion around packaging. You know, Walmart has been a leader with our suppliers in the area of sustainable packaging for many years. We want to just rekindle that and see what great innovation our suppliers, our buyers, our sourcing teams can work on together throughout the product supply chains. So we'll be back with our suppliers in about 6 months, and we want to see great examples of new ideas and new innovation that they've really learned from the playbook that Ashley's created, and to see those in action. So we'd ask our suppliers to download the playbook, watch the video, consider applying some of those things they've learned, like the How to Recycle label, and then come back to us in a couple months. We'll have an opportunity for them to showcase what they've done, and we'll probably give out some awards for those who have applied some of the learnings the most.
And when we talk about the recycle label, not just the label, but recycling their products in any way, I would think.
That's exactly right. Recycling is really important across both the products and the packaging, and we'll continue to lead in that area with our suppliers.
Okay. Thank you both so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
We'll be right back.
Our guests enjoy staying at the 21C Museum Hotel and hosting dinner, meetings, and product launches there.
That does it for this week's show. Here are 3 key takeaways you might want to jot down. First, sustainability addresses both how you move your product and how you package it, so consider both. Also, number 2, don't lose track of your sustainability scorecard. Lightweighting, alternative materials, and improving end-to-end value, it can help you. Also, Walmart continues to place an emphasis on sustainability, so it's imperative you look at your process upstream and downstream. We'll see you back here next week.